Oh, maybe I'm sharing the wrong screen. On my screen. Yes, I'm starting it just a tad bit sooner. I actually didn't start yet. I'm just setting up. My typical start time is between 1 to 1:20-ish. So just gives me a little bit of buffer room to kind of set up, situate, and get ready for diving into everything. But I will adjust time accordingly. If I happen to start slightly later, I will, give you guys more time to go over more stuff, obviously. And I'm sorry, that is 1 to 1:20 Eastern Standard Time, EST, for me. Yes, we will go over Sol for sure. Excellent. So I guess with that said, it is about 11 minutes past the hour. Going to first dive into USDTD. From there, we can go into everything else. So USDTD here, kind of following the trajectory that we sort of wanted to, where this range currently. So yeah, I'll jump right into it. I have this fully extend. I'm basically just preparing potential extension. This is very, very choppy area, right? Because in the monthly, right, we are just basically right at a monthly trend. We're basically getting close to this monthly trend. Now, what I would expect is if we do decide to either retrace on this monthly candle and take the weekly high, slightly more bullish for the market, for the crypto market, because one of the things I like to see is if we retrace here and then start rejecting, then this range here would basically be what's the new accepted weekly range, because we'd be inverting a previous gap, right? We broke through, we have an AMD range to the low. Now, what I want to see here on USDTD is basically just the acceptance of this range. So basically, if we dump a little further, I'd like this to kind of dump a little further here, but to continue keep closures underneath 5%. So for me right now, 5% is kind of like the the magic number here, because if we can consolidate and continue to consolidate on the daily below 5%, which means that we would accept this range, then the crypto market as a whole would be more bullish. However, if we decide to break 5% and start consolidating slightly above it, it would indicate that we are actually going to be taking the higher range, and then we should be worrisome if the next range high at 5.26 would basically be where we want to see the next rejection. But what's good is even if we dump, even if the crypto all the way up to any percentage 5.3, I would actually still be bullish on the market, because again, this is actually a standard retracement, or basically what we're entering now is effectively a standard retracement in the market. So going into this week, considering the range, I would expect that this inversion hold. If this inversion holds and we consolidate below in this range, then we could see further downside, obviously, which would be good for longs. But if it doesn't hold, which I sort of expect is slightly more likely at this point, to this range 5.37. So what I would like to see is blue play out a little bit more over the next week or so, where we continue to range slightly higher, but then do a deep reject pump, basically, crypto pump down to below 5% again. If we can get this played out, which is blue, I would almost say that at that point, we are in for the next real bull run. because we'd be breaking the monthly trend line, and our targets would be all the way down to 3%. We'd have the 3 taps, we'd have the and everyone who looks and trades, pattern, very clear, effectively a head and shoulders, right? Right here at the USDTD. Oops, so hopefully that answered your question. I basically want to see us, I want to see the crypto market dump more, a healthy dump here, and then retain the range until we can get back below 5%. But I'd like to see 5% broken one more time and then another closure below it in the next week or so. Cool. I'm going to do Bitcoin, and then we'll jump into Ethereum and then a couple others. So same thing here. Nothing changed for me for Bitcoin. We did have a 3 tap here, which is actually it's not perfect, but yeah, it's not even that. Beautiful. So Maker is actually very interesting. I drew this up a while ago. We didn't deviate here, so I'm going to clean this up a little bit. Let's take a look at the high time frame first. Oh, look at that. That is pretty clean. 3 month, we did support that. Wow, this is actually pretty nice. There's literally no inefficiencies beyond just the one down there. We did already respect this OB. We've been eating it up. And then we also have an SMR with an AMD here, effectively almost 3 taps on the weekly. Maybe not yet, very close. We have this weekly range low down here, so I'll clean up my chart just a little bit. Great. And what I'd want to see here is this weekly range low taken, which it looks like we are starting to invert based on where the candle is showing. So we do one more range low tap at 2400. Probably like, I'll maybe make this different line here. 2400, something like that. I'll put that in blue, and then possibly down to 2357. Great. So that on the daily, yeah, this looks pretty clean. I like this one. This is a good one. Thank you for putting this on my attention here. Even if we consolidate in this range, that is bullish for sure. Right, I'd want to see something like that play out, where we consolidate further on the daily. I'd want to probably see us sweep slightly lower to 24 to 23. 24 to 23, stop at 1980. Let's see. That is also is that an equal low there too? Yes, that looks like it might be. That's a little tricky. Oh, no, never mind. That was taken. No, okay, yep, liquidity there was taken. Perfect. See, precision-wise, you got to check the chart, double check, zoom in, do everything you can, because that is pretty clean. So yeah, this range, I want to keep this range held. What I'm going to probably do, and look at that. There's oh, no, never mind. I thought I saw something else. No, that's pretty decent still. We got one, so this is going to be the next one. PO1, PO3, PO2, and this is the PO3 one. What was I going to do? Yes. So for this one, looking to see 24. Yeah, so basically 24,444, or so, between 24,444 and 20. This one wasn't inverted before either. So yeah, basically these are my entries. These would be my entries. And then for this one though, if we flip this on the weekly and on the monthly, I will say this much, then we'd actually be invalidating this previous weekly low, or sorry, this weekly high, which is SMR here. And effectively, we could see as high as the 5K or then the 6K because we would be inverting this high time frame range, right? Something like that. So very, very, very close to seeing this new range acceptance. Pretty clean. If I was to take this long, I might do something like this where we do go for a potential fib extension, right, to the next range. So that would be a good clean swing back up to 10K on Maker. Very bullish on Maker here for sure. But yes, thank you, Eska. That's a good find. Okay, Kalal OP. Let's take a look at that one. Beautiful. I'm going to clean up my chart. We didn't do that inversion there yet. Let's see. 1, 2. We do have a deviation. Similar framework here as a lot of our other structured charts, right? Monthly, we have an OB that we supported, and then the closure on the monthly, which is 2 days from now. 2 days will have this inversion. So the next step would be to invert this one, which would mean that our range high, if we take the monthly range high and then close, so let me just mark this out. This is my first target for price action here. Monthly range high and close. Even a tap of this would actually invert the previous one here. So very clean as well for OP. Very good spot here. If we want to swing long, this is also a great spot to start swinging long on this one. Even if we sweep slightly lower, we have 2 more days, so 2 candle days. So monthly, yes. So let's go back to the monthly, right? So we have that. We take 2 more candle days. This would be inverted. So that means that we need to have a closure above orange in 2 daily candles. So if we happen to do something like this in the next 2 days and then still close above 164, then the monthly fractal will be respected, which means that we are going to be inverting this on the monthly. So this is pretty clean as well. This one would be the monthly reversion here would mean that we'd at least target previous consolidation highs, followed by invalidating. Let's look at the monthly again. Followed by at least this monthly high, right? So those will be my swing targets on the monthly, possibly up to 3.7. I'll put that down as well, but that by then we're probably gonna be hitting this OB and we're probably going to get some consolidation up there anyway. So I won't be too adventurous with this one, but at least actually this is nice. So right about here, and then do another one right about here. This one's nice as well. Basically, yeah, around here is where we're going to start to see some reversal there. So something like that could be possible, where we start to see the inversion on the monthly. We break above, we take the high, retrace, bounce, invert this weekly, retrace, or bounce, retrace, and then invert this other weekly, right? And then accept the next range, take the equal highs, again, bounce and continue, right? So because that would be a full range of this monthly here. So kind of orange is what I see playing out on OP, considering that we did actually already, as soon as we start to close above 177 on OP on the weekly, this is going to be super fast to fly. So yeah, I'm probably going to start scaling in on OP actually. Yeah, these are some good levels to scale in on. Very, very good. And I'll probably put a stop down here. Same thing, 1.2218. That one looks like it never tapped in, but it's, even if this is, yeah, it looks like, just if I zoom in here, oops. There's, yeah, nothing. There's nothing there yet. So honestly, it's probably worth still trying for the most part. But yes, just keep in mind that this is where, if you use this range, it might do something crazy. Like it might go, this next wick might just go all the way down and then still close still close above 167. that would still be valid for the long, to be honest. So I'll put that in yellow, or yeah, teal. Main point here is we need to close above 163 on the daily, on the next 2 days, be it if it's whatever sweep happens on the next day, right? We need to close above that. So probably start to layer in some bids down here in this range. Yeah, down there, maybe down here too, but mostly in the range of 155. So I'll clean my chart up a little bit. I'll put in a couple entries where I might do 15847, maybe 153, and then another two right at 13129. Something like that would be clean, because then we count for both levels where we take the range low first, or we extend slightly lower before closing back above 163. Excellent. So this one's good. I'm gonna keep this one in my back pocket. Appreciate you guys for flagging this one to me. MNT. I don't think I've ever seen this one before. What is MNT? What do you have an idea of what MNT is, Eska? No? Well, let's do our trusty Google search. Mantle. Okay. Interesting. I've never seen this one before. MNT. Interesting. Oh, it's an Ethereum rollup. Okay. Yeah, there's Ethereum L2 rollups are like so common now. Chart does look decent. Yes, I will say that much. Let's see. We do have that one reversion. So let's go to the high time frames first. I like to start really high and then go from there. So on the yearly, we did take the year high first, slightly bearish. On the monthly, we do have this gap we filled. We closed above. We are building an SMR, so slightly more bullish, but we do have this open gap on the monthly. I'll put that down here. And then on the weekly, also have, let's see, we do have very, very smooth liquidity all the way through here, plus this fair value gap. So really what I would expect is, oh yeah, and this weekly closure already happened. So even if we do take the high, we actually have an inversion here as well. So we have an inversion here to make note of on the weekly as well. And then we have a smooth OB right here with the inversion that would possibly happen for a PO3. 1, 2, that's the only one actually. 1, 2, there's only 2 weekly. Okay, so that would be it. So if we go by the low time frame fractal, that's the previous range low. What I'd expect to have is the same thing. We take the weekly range low. If this SMR holds, we will be ranging and consolidating. If we do take the high and actually support this SMR down here, then I'd actually expect us to take the 19455 first. However, this would be the inversion we'd be hitting, which would mean that we could go all the way up to $1 on MNT before we start to see a rejection. And that rejection would actually land us all the way down to 13962 before we then consolidate again. So I know that's really ugly. Let me see if I can draw this a little nicer here. This would be my my pathing that I'd expect here, something like this, and then the $1 followed by trajectory to 40 cents as the new deviation, and then consolidation, right? So MNT, very clean. I actually like this structure. We could do either way. We could do both ways. I will not take a long on it until we break this previous week low and then support this SMR structure. We could easily take the long back up to 94. So this would be our target for the long as well as our target for the short. So this would be the entry for the short. And then if we're supporting this previous SL, we have at least two This one is decent if you want to go tight. This one is decent if you don't want to go tight. So let's do it both ways. Here's the entry for the long, and then there's the long. That's not a good RR, to be honest, but we can dive into it on the weekly if we want to, or sorry, in the lower time frames if we want to. And the same thing here for the short. I'd expect something like this to happen, where we do take the low first from there. So I will keep this on watch for now. This is a decent short as well to the deviation side. And then again, if we're playing this range, as soon as we get this deviation, if we get the SMR built here, right, I'd expect something like this to happen, right? This would be the candle low. We then anchor this stop at the candle low after we break above basically the 5-3. So here's the next range right there. So this would be the long, followed by the short, followed by the long. At which point this would be the new all-time high, right? Because it would have had a full retracement into the previous range before we take the high again. So that would be the next long there. So cool. I gave you 3 setups there. Go have fun. And I'm sure that you know, you guys can figure it out. You guys are smart enough to, you've been in this long enough. At least some of you have. I just like to assume if you don't, then let me know, or let anyone else, the analysts know, and obviously we can help you out. But basically, if I was playing M&T, this is the range I'd be playing. I'd be playing the long, followed by the short, followed by the long. But you could also trail your stop, because as soon as this long gets hit, there's no more inefficiencies in the range. You could anchor your SL actually in this deviation here. So this would be stop followed by your entries here. So that actually be cleaner. If you want to do that instead, that's fine too. Here's your long entries down there, followed by down here, basically in this zone, right? Pretty clean there. So then this long would be very, very clean. And then after that, that'd be the only efficiency left in the chart. We take the high, right? So pretty clean there. We want to consolidate here a little bit more. I will keep this on watch, so thank you. And then let's do width. And then I gotta run. But unless there's one more you guys have in mind. Excellent. So width here, we do have this range low. I think we did take the high. So I would actually still expect some sort of consolidation here still. And we want to see a market structure shift that's supported on the high time frames, which should mean that even though we made a market structure break on the low time frames, the daily here, we inverted, we never actually came back down to invert the one. So this red level here is one of my key levels. The orange, I made it orange. Basically, we never came to retest it, right? So what I'd want to see is this orange level become the market structure break on the lower time frames now that we have the higher time frames supported. So we broke a new high here, right? We broke a new high here already. We broke a new high here, right? Now what I'd want to see is the same respected again, but a healthy retest of the previous high range breaks. So we get the healthy retest now, back down to $1.70 on width. That'll be when I start to look to long, with the expectation we do the same thing. We break this range high, right? Where we then have a new potential range high, maybe like at the liquidity level of like 3-4 or something, right? So something like that would be quite healthy for width here. So you know, something like that, right? So width here, slightly bearish still. I see us retracing with USDT and everything else I mentioned to you guys already. Want to just keep watching on those, because everything will retrace, and this retracement will be a healthy one, because if we do not, again, if we take the all-time high and can keep pushing, then I actually am becoming more bearish on the crypto market overall than not. So just keep that in mind. But yeah, with width here, I want to see us at least break into the $1.70 level. So that's actually when I have when I want to have my alert to long, because if we hold this range, then we will see at least a consolidation back to $3 possibly. But until then, yeah, I'd say stay short if you're in a short. Oh yes, Rose. Rose. Let's check Rose, and then I gotta run. Appreciate you guys as well. These are some good ones. Cool. Actually, funny thing enough, I drew this. What did I draw this? Back in June, early June. So Rose here, pretty nice. Oh wow, pretty nice. We took liquidity on orange. Look at that. Oh, beautiful. Super bullish. Super bullish here. Wow. Holding above CE. Hit all entry points that I previously marked. We have 1, 2, equal low there. Yeah, equal high. And we do have a third tap with an SMR with the equality taken. We have higher lows, and then we have our inversion here. So literally the last level that I'm looking to see this inversion take place would be down here. So I'm going to just adjust this slightly. So if I was to then take this, I'll clean this up a little bit. Right, so this would be the next range. We are slightly, where are we right now? We're slightly breaking through that inversion on the daily. Clean this up a little bit. What's the weekly look like? Right, so this is where it gets iffy. Once we start looking at the high time frames, because we did support this inversion down here already, and this one down here, and this one up here, we do have, it's a little iffy still. So even on the weekly, slightly iffy. We have a smooth OB maybe. Is this smooth OB here? No. We do have this double inversion here. This is kind of nice. I like this range right now. This is a good range, but it's just iffy because as soon as we break this low right down here, this being the new low here, then effectively trajectory on this will be going all the way back down to its weekly OB, right? So we did have one. We didn't have that one, so we only had one inversion. What about this one here? Let's see this weekly. Yeah, we're already breaking below it. But we are above the other one down here. We're above this weekly, I think still. Yes, we're above that weekly. So yeah, I mean, it's probably worth taking for a scalp on Rose. Maybe a swing long. I this range just as much as I should. It's pretty decent, but it really depends on whether or not this wick takes out a new low, right? If we take out a new low, if we take out this low, like you could play this long, but if you take out this low and then we have a wick that actually is lower than this one, then that would mean that we are doing a bearish delivery, which would basically mean that as soon as we pump again, it's just going to go like the actual price wants to get back down to below 6 cents, 6.6, 6 cents roughly. So if we go to the daily, assuming that is the case, let's just briefly, I'll clean this up a little bit. Assuming that is the case, if I was to take this long, I would be longing here in this range, probably something like this. And we pump, if we take this high, and then continuously unable to make a new high, right? And this range high is still kept, or if we take this high and are unable to make a new high, then I'd actually expect us to do a deeper drop again to take the range low here. So something like that. It really depends on how the range works here. So this one's a little trickier. They could go either way, but I'm leaning long once we get to the range low down here. But until then, yeah, I'll wait. Awesome. Well, thanks for joining. Appreciate your guys' time. I got to run. Have a good Monday. Remember